First EP collab, man. Oakland Vallejo, the Bay Area, stand up. I'm from that town. She from Vallejo. Said let's collab. She said okay. We all should play. Hot potato. Whoever got the hottest vibe wants the next. Challenge accepted. It's me, I'm the best. Like creative players on hunters, no less. The lines in your forehead just told me you stress it. Got G-O-D on me side. Ooh, he blessed me. All the lies they tell it's a vaccine. They're acting it's so bad like it's wrestling. Keep my circle so small it's insane. If you made the cut then you're part of my team. Just like blowing that plank off strikes no gutter. Attracted to the mind but I like mine's hooder. She gotta have a pretty face too.
Hi. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm Mrs. Best. We have our co-host James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. He is here. He is black. He is great. He's a renowned author of his book. I'm going to keep telling you.
Yes. Please.
We're here to go over Love and HipHop Atlanta Season 11, Episode 25, Ready or Not, with 2 Ds and no A. This was an interesting episode. Love and HipHop Atlanta, the climate of the show has changed. The tone, I think, especially after what happened with Mena, they're trying to, like, but there's still this Love and HipHop Atlanta, so they still don't act the fool. Let's get into some things. What is first is going to be Zell Swag. He goes to get his nails done with Sierra. They're getting pedicures, and they're discussing his court case. The court case that Zell has is basically the altercation he got into. Hi, Naya. I'm late, but I'm sorry. Hello. The court case was that bullshit that we saw online with Zell and Bambi and Erica Mena, I believe. This was shortly after all that bullshit went down and all of that. So he got arrested, got into trouble, so did Bambi. This is going to result in him missing Saucy Santana's VMA nomination and the award show because he says that you could get called to court at any moment from his lawyer. So he has to basically stay near the courthouse. All I'm going to say on this scene is it proves Saucy's point of this fucking cast. This is why he did not want you. I don't think Saucy has any issues with Atlanta. He's in Atlanta all the time. I think the issue is the cast of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Where they go, I know people like this show and stuff, but I think Zeus is going to experience this soon too. Right. People don't look at them like normal law-abiding citizens, even though they are, for the most part, law-abiding citizens. But when you're on TV acting a fool, getting in arguments, ending up in love triangles, and literally having physical altercations with older women, then not everyone's going to want to work with you or respect you. I think a lot of people money on their fan base, not their actual business sense, if that makes sense. So that's all I could say. Did you have any comments on that little pedicure scene?
No, it was like, I always watch the company you keep, but then when you look at who it is, it's like he's just as equally as problematic. So it's like, yeah, I kind of understood, but at the same time, it's like you wasn't too far off. We remember your Love and Hip Hop days. So
Listen, that's a word because we do. Zell Swag has always acted a fool though. Moving it along, we see Kendra and Jaceel. Now they was both in they workout clothes in the house, and they're discussing her feelings and stuff. She had issues with the baby mama of the baby that he had while they were broken up, but not officially broke. Whatever the fuck, just stupidity. Kendra just doesn't want to see the baby mama, has no issues with her, but she says she doesn't see why she has to talk to her. I want everybody who's not a parent who's dating people with kids to understand something. While you don't have to deal with disrespect, and while you should, be sure to try and make sure they're not married or still with the parent of the baby mama or whatever, that's still the mother of their child, woman or man. So if the child, in my opinion, is under the age of 15, you're going to have to deal with them. I'm not a mom, but I can tell you there's no way in hell that I'm going to leave my child alone with anybody who I have not met or seen, can identify. That doesn't make sense to me. So Kendra, you not being a mom is not an excuse to not understand that basic logic.
Well,
That's
first off, let's kind of understand. Let's have a bit more understanding. What makes her different? We're talking about Gloria was the baby mama's name, right? So, I don't forgot. What makes Gloria any different than Grandma Jaws and Alex and Fatima and all of them? What makes her any different? This is still a mother to his child. And you get along with them, so you can't get along with this one, but y'all were on a break, remember, Kendra? Help me understand how this makes sense, because it does not to me. It makes no sense, the fact that you don't have the decency to be this man's wife and meet the mother of his child, regardless of how fucked up and goofy it was. It doesn't matter now, because you married him. So why now is it a problem? Because I could be, because to me, if I was married to Jaws, I couldn't be cool with Grandma Jaws over there. I couldn't. Shout out to Bondi Blue. I couldn't be cool with Cedar, or whatever the fuck her name is. I couldn't be cool with her because she messy, and I know, and she too proud. She too proud to be the baby mama of this food. So I could. So, but you could be friends with her. But Gloria's a problem. Okay, Kendra. Okay.
Kendra's full of shit. Kendra's insecure. Just because you have education as it relates to her law degree, her Juris Doctor degree in law, it does not mean that you are a person with common sense or intelligence. Listen, anybody can get a college degree. You may not believe in yourself. If you needed to hear that, somebody thinking about going to college, anybody can get a college degree. So I don't think we have to remember that what people get degrees in is to be experts of a certain field or topic, not life in all of this. So Kendra's just
Well, here's the thing. See, if it was a different type of degree, I would agree with you. But this is a law degree. When you go to law school, y'all, I didn't last in law school, but when you go to law school, they literally teach you how to think unemotively. So if Kendra has that type of degree and she's taught to think this way, this is her breaking out of some type of. It's kind of, what was the old girl's name from Love and Hip Hop Miami that was married to Gunplay?
To Gunplay. I don't. Kiara, was she married? Oh, Von Shay.
Von Shay. This is what this is giving me. She's giving me Von Shay 15 years later. That's exactly what Kendra is giving me. Well, how old is Kendra? Because I could say 20 years later. How old is Kendra?
Kendra's our age.
Okay, so 15 years later. So yes, this is Von Shay 15 years later. This is exactly this kind of behavior where you do not adapt into normal circumstances. You don't adapt into everyday life.
Well, Nia Agree says absolutely not. Bow gracefully. Those his kids, his woman, his problem. Respectfully.
If he wasn't married, I wouldn't feel that. I would feel that way if he was married. If he was not married,
I agree.
He's married to her, and to me, that is a bit selfish to say his woman, his problem. You know, that is now. If that was his girlfriend, absolutely. Then okay, it's your problem. Get going over to see the house and over there, and don't do nothing that you're gonna regret.
I don't know. I know. I see. I feel like that's the thing, and maybe that will make people start to be more careful about how and what they do when they have kids, because essentially, though it sucks because they married, they are his kids, his baby mama, and his problem. But by her choosing to stay with him, like Nia just commented, that means she's fully invested.
Yes, and that's my point. If that wasn't his wife, I would not feel that way.
Yeah, and her being the baby being so young, the little girl, I believe her name's Gianna. You're gonna have to deal with her. Here's what annoys me. Why y'all do this shit on TV? Have some class about something. Like, I understand it's a show, but I don't need to see everything. And this little girl now, I can't help but think she's gonna look at this one day. It's probably gonna be a meme because her dad's a fucking joke. All his kids, and they're gonna see like, oh damn, like I wasn't even supposed to be here. So I just want them to stop.
It's not even that. Shit. It's like, damn, like my stepmom don't even want to give my mom an ounce of decency to say, hey, nice to meet you. Here's the baby, you know, and she's so beautiful. And just let you know there's no harm. We will get through this as a family because that's what we are. and just do it like that. Like she, you know, she might not have to say the family verse. She can just say, we're gonna get through this. These 18 years are going to be a breeze. Because that's what. Because see, if I were to marry into kids, that's how I would be. I am not the kind of person that if I fall in love with somebody, damn, you got kids, that's your problem. I ain't trying to know. I know what I signed up for. Yes. Like, and to me, I'm always that team player. Like, I always think in my mind, I am going to do, I don't know why this is in my mind, but I feel like, yeah, I'm going to marry just kids. Girl, come on to me here. We cook these greens. We got to feed these kids. Come on, we got to take this one to soccer practice. Come on, she got ballet recital. Come on, girl, we're going to go gossip about the other mamas. That's how I am. That's what I would do. So, Kendra needs to take a note. Like, that's what you need to be in this moment.
Yeah, I would agree. I have no disagreements. That's rare. Y'all know I got a mouth, but I agree with everything you say. But Kendra's just slow though. But the next thing they discuss is the concerns about going to Saucy Santana's birthday party, which Kendra wants to do. She's like, I'm gonna have fun. And that's how I feel like Jock and Kendra are staying together, because I think that she's settling and he's at the age where he just won't be with who gonna take him. But this worried me, and I may have been looking deeper into it, but like, if I want to go somewhere, go out and have fun, and my dude's like, I don't want to go around them people or that, we still gonna have fun and do something, but just maybe not around those people and that. I don't understand why they need to go to Saucy Santana's birthday party. They don't really have a good relationship with Zell Swag. Kendra doesn't know these people at all, really. Jock knows people, but I do think he is a little more elevated than to go to a Saucy Santana party. He does have a lot of brand deals and things that he's doing outside the show. Also, Kendra, you ain't slick. You a lawyer too. So that thought that James just talked to us about, I feel like she used that and was like, no, you need to come because you showing up to the party proves that you're not homophobic. Now, why are we talking about homophobia? Because Jock, and I saw this when it happened, he went online and he basically said he would not feel comfortable performing in front of an all men crowd. And then the LGBTQ community took that, I'm sorry, as they do with a lot of shit, and it gets on my nerves, and they spun it into something that was negative. We have seen Jock interact with people in the community. We have seen Jock do things, honestly, with his hair that some of the people in the community would do. We have seen Jock do things. What I need people in the LGBTQ plus community to understand is your plight and your struggle and the things that you go through are legit, but that doesn't give you the right to treat everybody as if they are attacking you. That's the best way I can say it. People are entitled to feel uncomfortable being in situations, as Saucy Santana said to Jock earlier in. It makes sense for him to be uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar ground. And it's that simple. He did not say he's grossed out by gayness. He did not throw shade at the gay people. He did not do any of that. He just said it'd be a little weird for me to perform for a crowd full of men. And my husband, who's a rapper, also felt the same way. We have friends. I have plenty of friends who are gay that I'm actually really close to. I love my gays. I don't know why. But and I don't see the issue. Homosexual men, gay people, trans, all the different terminologies. I'm not going to say them all, but I'm not trying to dismiss y'all at all. They are going to operate in their way. Heterosexual men are going to operate and have things that they do. Now, if Jock would have thrown shade and been attacking the people and the community as a whole, then I might be like, okay, why would you say that? If he had just made that comment to make that comment versus being asked a question, I'd be like, well, why are you saying that? But I don't think it was that big of a deal. But I also don't feel like he needs to go to Saucy's party. How do you feel about it?
First off, say hey to Shane _MCD for joining us. Hey.
I just computer is so slow.
Yeah, she's here. First off, no, I don't think he should have went to Saucy Santana's party, regardless of them being obligated by contract on the show. I don't feel like that's his place to go, honestly. Here's the thing about the comments. I do agree with you. LGBT plus community is way too sensitive for me. That's why I don't claim to be a part of that. I don't identify in those kind of ways. I feel like for me, my sexuality is fluid. I can do either or. It doesn't matter.
You can do what you want.
I can do what I want to do. And it is. I don't have to be attached to an association to do so. Now, do I think they need to be all inclusive and equal? Absolutely. I will stand 10 toes down with that because this world does have shit fucked up. So yes, absolutely. But the way you guys go about it is that not everybody's going to agree. Not everybody likes black people. Mm-hmm. But somehow we have to coexist. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing.
That's
Not
a
everybody's
good.
going to understand us, but at the same time, we have to coexist. So we need to find a way to balance that. I'm not going to go too far into that, but I'm just going to say there needs to be a balance. Now, I feel like for this, and this is my opinion on this, I feel like if the money spends, what do you care about?
You know what? I feel like a lot of people when that came out said the exact same thing. Because to me, I'm not gay or anything like that. But if I had to perform in front of a crowd full of, I don't give a damn. As long as everybody in that crowd paid, like who cares? And Young Jock, the comments online though were a little funny. Gay men don't want to see Young Jock anyway, and I'm like, it's just turning into so much more. I think this situation, it's an example of how in times it seems like the world, and no shade to the younger generations, are becoming more and more sensitive a little bit. And I'm just like, listen, I don't think this should have been something that blew up the way it did in the press and all of that. Young Jock just, I don't take him seriously.
Oh yeah, he's ignorant. So it's like, why? Because Young Jock is ignorant. He is. So, but the thing about it is that he's entitled to that ignorance. No matter how it shows up in this world, he's entitled to be ignorant. And the problem that I have with the LGBT plus community is that y'all are literally letting him and his ignorance shade away a really serious cause. Y'all really are, and that's not to be, unfair or unattended to something that I am. But I'm just saying, it's not that big of a deal.
When you focus on small stuff and sweat the small stuff all the time, then when something big comes, people are just over it and tired of it. And I feel like that's what's happening. Naya is laughing at what he's entitled to.
No, because here's the thing. And we have to start telling the truth about this. In society, yes, you are entitled to be ignorant because at the end of the day, if you don't know any better, how are you going to do better?
That's right. That is right.
So yes, it's not a good thing to be. Absolutely. But if you don't know any better, how can you hold yourself accountable to do better or to think better if you don't have the tools and necessary guidance? And that's why I said, Black people, we're not ready to have these conversations. We are not, because it really does start with us. And I think that it goes further back. But at the same time, we're not ready for these conversations. We're not ready for them. So I'm not going to have them. But yes, I'm going to say it the safe way. He's entitled to be ignorant because society creates that bargain for him, unfortunately.
Oh Lord, and Jock is ignorant. That's what I know. I don't know how he's not, but I know that he is now. That's all I know. But we'll see what happens more with that. But I do appreciate Saucy, which we'll discuss a little later. Thank y'all for being here. Shayna, is it Shayna or Shauna? I feel like it's Shayna. That makes more sense.
When I invite her on my live, we'll get clarity on that.
Every time I tune into her live, she's
in the middle. I actually remembered. I gotta send you the email. I'm so sorry. I gotta send you the email. I know. Because like that, we have to now decide on a day now because we kind of had something come up for both of us. Child. So yes, we have to decide on a day. But I'm gonna get you together though. I really.
James, you're hella funny. You got the memory of my nana.
Shayna. Okay, I got you.
Okay, Shayna. Okay,
yeah.
we were correct.
So we were correct then. Yes. Awesome.
All right. I've met somebody whose name was spelled the exact same way, and she was like, "It's Shauna." I'm like, "Okay, girl." I was like, "Where's the W or the U?" But anywho, fuck her. I don't like her anyway. But
yeah, no, I did because let me tell you, I am the most forgetful person. Yes. I don't know what's wrong with this brain of mine. It is extremely intelligent, but it lacks in memorability. It does. I'm sorry.
And James, you don't smoke or nothing. James is like sober.
Right? Like I don't know what. Maybe because I have preoccupancy somewhere in like. Oh, I'm not gonna go biology on y'all. I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna show my education like that. But I'm just saying, yeah, there's something else going on in my brain. I need to.
So life is lifing up behind my reviews. Boo, don't give up. As long as you keep doing them. People will continue to.
Oh yeah, because I watch. Let me tell you, I might be a day too late watching you, but I do watch you.
She said last week, you gotta take your own advice, Shayna. It's like the reviews can wait. Do what you gotta do. If life is lifing, handle life. But her reviews are good. You guys should check out her channel. She has panels, all sorts of things, and content that I think is really creative. So check her.
And I have another idea for one of the panels. If you want to invite, you need to have this Black people discussing Shayna. So yes, we need to get that going.
Black people discussion.
We do. We need to start talking. We need to help. We need to help our people by all means necessary.
No, that's a word.
Yeah.
So get back on topic. Sorry, y'all. Be sure to like the video too for those who are here. Spice and the diaper booty of blue. They decided to get with the ladies and have a tea. What? Okay, I'm gonna be nice because James is giving me that look, and that means like Amina, watch your mouth. So I'm gonna watch my mouth.
No, that don't mean that, but that I'm trying. I be trying not to look at that. I just don't because I try
Spice's
to take
BBL. I'm not trying to be shady, but I really don't care. But Spice's BBL really does. Y'all ever see when you go to the picnic or something with your family and there's a beach, you know, and the baby while you getting the ribs on the grill ends up running into the water, and you know the cousins are supposed to watch them, just let them, then they come out the water with a diaper so puffed up it looked like Spice's BBL. It really did look like her BBL. Shout out to Black people.
that is another conversation we need to have.
Plastic surgery.
BBLs specifically, yes, but plastic surgery, we need to. Ladies, let me tell you.
Just make the thighs match. That's it. That's all.
No. Let life just happen. So what? You ain't got no ass at 25. I guarantee you, when you get 35, trust me, you gonna have some ass.
You know what?
And you know what? I'm just saying, age really does define the gravity of your body. It does. Your metabolism slows down. You have certain organisms in your, trans fat that definitely explodes. So just give it time. Side note, Jesse. No, please don't. No, because you know what? That's somebody that makes me mad. She's starting to. Her and Serena both. They're making me mad these days. Because I didn't even recognize Gab at the damn Super Bowl. I didn't know. I thought I was looking at Juju.
Oh, Gabrielle Union was at the. Oh, I did. That was Gabrielle Union.
That was Gabrielle. I was like, wait, man, no, that's not Gabrielle. Okay.
Well, maybe she wants to be like her husband, changing her hair and fingernails and makeup too.
Oh, she's bleaching, and she's
her skin.
Yeah, she's bleaching, and then she got her dimples filled in with filler. Like, I'm like, why would you do that? Go look at a recent picture of her. Go look at it. I'm telling you. It's like, and because I have a friend who recently did it, and I'm like, you are so stupid.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because in Hollywood, he's not getting jobs because of them. And I'm like, wow, the casting directors really they look at that
what? His skin tone?
Huh? Yes. Like, they are really like cracking down on that. I'm like, oh no, we're not gonna have this. Gabrielle Union used to have such a pretty tone. She did. Like, she had one of the most prettiest tones ever. I don't know why she's put filler in her dimples. I don't know why, but she is doing that, and I need her to stop it.
Oh, honey, that's sad. That's sad. I don't know. That's terrible. I hope she figures it through. I do.
Me too.
Sorry to get off topic, y'all, because I don't be knowing about pop culture. So sometimes I know shit based on what y'all tell me. And I just learned a lot from Nia and James. So Spice and her BBL though. So sorry. They gathered for a tea party. It's always the ratchet hoes that want to go on the tea party. They did this on Bold and Bougie as well. Check out our recaps for that.
Yes, please. I don't get nearly enough viewerships on that videos, and I know I go in.
Only 100,000 people apparently have been watching, like 99,000 they say per episode, and that was the peak. So it's like people got to watch the show to know to look for your recap, and they're not watching the show. Anywho, they bring up Erica Banks. All the ladies are there, and we finally see Rashida, and she didn't bring Kirk's earring with her, but she was there. I forgot that Rashida was a part of this show. I genuinely forgot Rashida was a part of this show. And I'm not being messy. I don't really care for Rashida, but I just don't know why she's still included in the credits. I feel like they just want to have an original cast member from season 1, but y'all got Carly. Just because Rashida can go. I'm tired of it. I feel like she's just aligning with people based on who's more popular and a part of, those crowds on the show so that she can stay relevant. And I also think she still has a lot of dirt in her marriage, but she's not going to show it to us because she don't want to get dragged for another 2 decades. So I'll leave that there with Rashida. But they discussed Erica Banks not wanting to come to the little baseball thing last week to make up with Rennie Rucci. Sierra had the audacity to say that Erica Banks needs to grow up. I actually think all of the women at the table, not Erica Banks, needs to grow up. I think Erica Banks is doing what is normal. If somebody throws a drink on me and it proceeds to get up and take off on me, just because I'm trying to have a conversation with them, they're not getting the point, getting mad at me about a nigga they're not with no more. And I say, well, you might need some therapy. You want to say that has to do with your mom. I think her mom did trigger her. I really don't think Erica Banks meant that comment as a way to like take a dig at the girl for losing her mother. But Erica Banks was assaulted, and it's not about being scary or not. If a bitch assaults me, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to be around you.
My whole thing is that Sierra, I said, Sierra, that's just like us bringing Keely back and sitting there in front of you.
Ooh.
That's just like us doing that. Because we remember when you slide swiped her with your purse and hit her in a club. And then the next day she threw a marker and you was ready to fight her again. So I don't need to hear from you of all people. I need to hear that from somebody who has not been on a physical altercation on Love and Hip Hop to tell Erica Banks that she's being childish and silly.
Yeah.
Because that coming from Sierra was no. So producers, Mona, whoever, Stephanie, if you still there, bring Keely back and sit her in front of Sierra and see if she's so poised and mature. I want to see.
No, I don't like what they did. Like, y'all try to make it seem as if
I don't like Erica Banks, but at the same time, I don't feel like that was warranted.
Yandy, of all people, bringing up how she don't like it was comical when Yandy spent her seasons literally ducking and dodging the baby mamas of Mendices as well as anybody else that she had beef with. Yandy in season 2, if everybody remembers, when Chrissy starts to have an issue with her, Yandy's ass just start avoiding her. So you can't talk shit about Erica not wanting to come around somebody who assaulted her. You didn't get assaulted by Chrissy, Yandy. So if anything, it should have been Kim Bella who was avoiding her. So I just, Yandy and Sierra saying something was the funniest thing ever to
me.
But
because both of y'all are hypocrites.
Big ones.
Both of you are hypocrites. As I said, I needed that to come from somebody who has not been in an altercation on Love and Hip Hop. I needed that to come out of somebody else's mouth.
Right.
Mimi would have been perfect. Hell, even Rashida would have been perfect.
Yeah, Rashida don't hit nobody. She don't.
Yeah, she don't. So she it was the shit with K Michelle. K Michelle provoked that. So it's like, yeah, I needed that to come from somebody else. You two, absolutely not.
Can we bring back K Michelle? My name's Rashida and I rap like Shotty Low.
No, I love her when she hit her in the chin with that candle. I promise you, that was like the moment of all moments for me. When she put that candle, hit her in the chin with it, I was like, oh, see, yeah, you ready to fight.
I'm going to hell. I miss the old school Love and Hip Hop days. I used to be watching the shit like, oh my God, there's people crazy like us in the world. And then I grew up. Now I'm like, what the hell? But basically, Spice brings up her health after they talk about Erica Banks. And she basically announces that she's having slight organ failure. I'm going to stick by this. I know people have kind of tried to get at me a little bit when I said this. I don't really care, y'all. I got thick skin. Be mad all you want. I'm going to just say it like this. If your health is so bad that you keep saying and behaving like you are in the fight of your life and you have children and success away from this show that will pay you tenfold, then why in the actual fuck are you on camera? I never get that. And I say that all the time when someone passes on things like that. Like, I'm not going to be on camera. It's okay to take a break. And a lot of these shows where they're filmed have laws that protect them to be able to take a break if need be. So I just don't understand why. Phil, I don't. So it's gotten, and then separate from that, and then you're going through the fight of your life again, Spice, but you still have the energy to have hate in your heart towards people and to beef with 1,000 cajillion people. So, but then all in the same sentence, you're having a celebration of life. The anniversary of, who does this? Just go to church or lay on a, pray. Shit. Who does this? So I'm just kind of looking at Spice with the side eye. I do wish her well with her health for the benefit of her children, because I think all lives are valuable, even those that do stupid shit. That's just my personal belief. But if you really are this sick, and I'm not saying she's not, but if she really is so sick that her organs are starting to fail and she's stressed out, then why be on a show that's literally going to bring on stress and where you're going to be expected to argue? Like, how do you feel about that, James Jackson, renowned author?
I can't take her serious, even though I know the cause was serious. It's because, one, I know she's playing. And two, I just feel like, and see, this is why you don't give people money. And you don't give people access who really do not know what to do. Because she is really making a really big mockery of people who really do go through shit and then come out of the hospital owing hundreds of $1,000s in debt, owing, doctors and owing co-pays and stuff like that. People who can't, really celebrate the fact that they made it out because they have to worry about the financial burdens on them and not have to think about, oh, well, I can poke fun or I could make a righteous moment out of my pain. And it's like, no, you don't do this. You thank God that you live to see another day. Now, if you want to do a testimony like Mrs. Best said, church is the best way to do it, because if your faith really wasn't as strong, you need to pay homage to what got you through it, not sit there and put on national TV this whole facade and this whole coming up life or whatever the fuck that event was called. That to me was just like, wow, you really don't have any proof. You just don't. And it's very obvious. And I can't, as I said, I can't take her serious. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. It's getting old, Spice. I think people are really tired of Spice. I always see the polls on the other recappers on their Instagram pages, and people are tired of Spice. I think as a whole, it doesn't matter. I think Spice is at a point on this show where there's not much she can do to redeem herself from all that she's done for the past decade on this show, that she's acted a fool. So I'll leave it there with that. But she does say that she will consider talking to Carly and that she's going to write her a letter, which I think is a good idea. Sometimes you can't get stuff out with your words, or when you have people like Spice who don't know how to shut the fuck up, then write your feelings in a letter and hear Carly out and leave it there. So we will see what happens with that later down the line of the show. Now, Jessica, I put Jessica Dime, not Jessica Dime. What is this girl's name? I'm looking up a note like, what would I put that? Y'all, what's wrong with me? What is her name?
Nick Cannon baby mom. Or not baby mama, but
her name is Jessica though, right?
White, Jessica White.
Oh, White. Okay. See, I really wanted to know. I genuinely forgot. I'm looking like, wait, Dime is the big booty.
Yeah, but I said, is Nick Cannon non-baby mama, baby mama?
The almost baby mama.
The almost baby mama.
ABM.
The one that get on my nerves.
Child. Now, she meets up with Chaotic to discuss Saucy Santana. They're going to be meeting with Saucy. As everyone knows, Chaotic and Saucy Santana both originated from Love and Hip Hop Miami. As James has stated, Miami is small, so it makes sense that all of these people know each other. Long story short, she feels like Saucy Santana did not want to agree to the song because he seemed and behaved like he was ambushed or wasn't expecting her to ask for a feature, which I get where she's coming from. But if you come to the studio as a big star with another big star who's trying to get into music, who your spouse has asked you to come and see, what did you think that you were going there for? So, it is what it is with that. But Saucy does come to this meeting. He appreciates Jessica basically letting him know, like, I'm sorry for that because I didn't realize you were being like ambushed or anything like that, which was smooth. I wouldn't have apologized for shit. It's giving desperate and like you still want this feature from him because no one else will give it to you. In modeling, she's respected. Outside of modeling, she's Nick Cannon's almost baby mama. And so I don't think that the music industry really takes her seriously. She don't even post herself. She's supposed to be a singer singing a cappella on her IG page. Hell, you can find a song on my Instagram page of me singing a song and making a song. If you do music, you're actually there'll be evidence of that, whether you're professional or not professional is what I'm trying to say. But basically, they make peace. She is Saucy. I don't know if they're going to do a song together, but they do make peace. And then Zell Swag comes up and Saucy starts exposing how he's annoyed with Zell Swag because of the altercation and how it led to him not being able to be supportive of Saucy. And Saucy feels like Zell does too much for his friends. And he also feels like Zell acts differently when his friends are around. I don't want to comment too much on this little meetup, but Jessica White to me needs to come off this show and go to AA or Al-Anon or something. I don't think this girl is sober in a way that's healthy. I just don't. So I'll leave it there. Do you have any thoughts on their little scene?
No, I don't, because to me it just seemed forced and not real.
She still don't blend with this cast yet.
She don't, and I just feel like I really want to understand the audition process. Like, is it really like I know she had to have name dropped Nick Cannon, and maybe they thought they were getting some tea that they felt we needed to know, but yeah, she doesn't blend, she doesn't mix, she's not entertaining. She, is all on this like, you know, righteous indignation that she does because she says that she was with Nick Cannon for 10 plus years, as if we can't Google to see when he was married to Mariah Carey. I just feel like, I don't want her on the show anymore. I'm over her.
Yeah, and it seems like she's going to start doing what they call nervous drinking because she's on camera. So I'm just over it. We do get to see the stripper party, though. Saucy Santana's birthday party comes. Zell Swag threw him a stripper party. Saucy says he loves strippers. He loves strip clubs, which him being from Miami, I do believe. The people I've met, like, who are from Miami seem to, like, the strip club for them seem to, like, be like how we would go to dinner in a movie or something just to kick it. Like, I don't know.
That wasn't my experience per se, and I did a lot of different experiences. To me, Miami is very divided in the alphabetical order. Like, you have your A crew, you have your B crew, you have your C crew, you have your D crew. You might not be elite enough to get into this crew. They might like strip clubs, or you might not be elite to get as they eat at $300 steakhouses. So it's very cliquish. It's very like by class. It really is. So I can't speak on that being a Miami thing because I was not probably elite enough to get into the strip club class. But what I will say is that it's very possible, but it wasn't my experience. I have a hard time relating that to Miami. I just think
a lot of the people I know in Miami are strippers in those clubs, so that's probably a piece of it too. Just so
I was about to ask you that. Were they strippers themselves?
Don't know why, y'all. I'm not a dancer. Never been. Well, I did dance, but not stripperish dance. I did ballet.
They will tell you they have a certain clientele.
Yeah. They my friends who in Miami who are strippers, them bitches be having money. Now I want to pay when they come visit us here in the Bay Area. I want to pay for your Airbnb. I want to put gas in your car. I'm like, wait, where's this money coming from?
Because let me tell you, it's a class of people. When I tell you it is an elite class of people that go to strip clubs, like I'm telling you, it's like a minimum requirement. I'm not elite enough for that requirement. That's why I was never in one. But when I tell you, it's like literally they run your car to make sure you got at least 2,500 on that American Express.
They do. They do a hold on it. That's true.
It's horrible.
Yeah. So it's almost like, that's true. Because that's exactly what her ass said. That's exactly what her ass said. Because she's like, it's just my deposit from a private dance. It was like for a private dance, someone had to put down $10,000. That was to put it down. And then she got paid more money and then decided, I'm going to take my bitches out. I don't know. I love strippers. They're fun. Shout out to the strippers. They work hard. But at the party, Carly Red goes there and she sits with Rennie, Richie, and Sierra, and they basically try to convince her to meet with Spice, which Carly says that she will think about it, which we know that she does from the clips and things that happen toward the end of the show. So Saucy Santana arrives at his party, and so does Young Jock around the same time. And Saucy goes in, greets people, sits down. Jock comes in, says hello to Saucy, and they have a discussion about the situation with the gay community, the things that Jock said. The conversation that Saucy had, I think the way that he handled that conversation is an example. It seems like most of the people tripping out and doing all the extra stuff in that community are mostly online net bangers, which come in all forms, not just that community. But a lot of the gay people I know in real life or have met or even saw or who we watch on TV align with what Saucy said. Like, it's not that offensive what you said, but as long as you understand that, like, we equal and all of that. So Saucy made comments.
Yeah, what I want to touch on is that what he's saying is that sexuality aside, we're the same. And I think that if the LGBT community would lead with that, we would not have problems.
A lot further.
Get a lot further. But it takes two to tango. They need to have that understanding that needs to be apparent, and then heterosexual people need to understand that aside, we're the same. Yes, you have your ones that go a little bit above and beyond with carrying a purse, wearing hair, doing, drag. Yes, you have, but to me, that's no different than straight men who do ballet, or it's like we need to accept people in every shades of where they are, because there's so many different types of people in this world. Like, you have rich people that don't want to be social, people who live in trailers. How is that any different? It's like we need to start putting connotations on things that actually matter versus the things that is really minuscule to a person's being. And who they sleep with is very minuscule, because you don't have to do it.
Yeah, I think it's good though that people and the way Saucy handled it. It's important though, because we can't continue to attack people just because they are not accepting of you. People don't have to accept you or us or anything that they don't want to accept, but they also don't need to disrespect each other and people. So
Yeah, and I think that's where the line gets blurred a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Because people, you can disagree and not accept something without disrespecting anyone. But if the person who is not being accepted feels like, oh, I'm not being accepted because of my sexuality, gender, identity, all of that, well, then they're just going to be upset about that. But as long as they're not being disrespected, then
and see, and the thing about it is a lot of people do, and when we say those lines are blurred, because a lot of people will be all like, well, you like men, that's why you can't do this. And they kind of blur those lines where they try to tie it in to why they can't be just their, normal self. It's just like, well, you can't say things like, well, you like men, that's why you can't do this, but then tell them they can't play football or something. Like, it's weird. It's like they
a lot of the things too. Everyone's attacking each other for stuff that is society. It's a part of society here, and it takes many years, centuries, sometimes, for society to change. Look at how long it took for the world to realize slavery was bad and that women should vote. Like, society takes forever to change. So
what's funny is that it did not. A lot of that has not changed. It just looks different today. I don't think. I like the world. People say segregation is no longer enough. Like I said,
no, that should exist, especially here in the Bay Area.
It just looks different.
Yeah,
police brutality has not stopped. It just looks different.
It does.
It just looks different.
Yeah.
So we have to understand something. I think the problem is that we don't want to bring awareness to the difference, because then it might set us back. But we have to understand something. And I saw a video. I'm gonna send it to you. It was a very. I'm not gonna put it on this live, but I'm gonna send. My cousin sent me something that was very interesting, and I want you to watch it.
Yeah. So the thing of it is, everybody just needs to understand that everybody in the world is different. And psychology essentially says that, the study of it. Everybody in this world is different, and when you have so many differences, you are guaranteed to have some type of issue. So I think it's all just to some extent inevitable, but here on our channel and the beliefs of this channel, we just respect. I'm kind to people who kind to me, and it should be that fucking simple, but the world is not simple. So I'll leave it there. Where the hell? So they have their conversation. It does go well. It seems like Jock heard what he said, and it seems like Saucy heard, and vice versa. Both people have to hear each other to get anywhere, but I was glad that it went in that direction. So then Saucy Santana starts complaining about Zell. He's saying that Zell is not answering the phone while he's out. He's going to do things like going to after hours, which, for those who don't go to the clubs always close at a certain time. Usually they close around 2 to 4 a.m. It really depends on your state and the liquor laws and things like that. But then a lot of states, especially Atlanta and Nevada, or Georgia and Nevada, they have after hours. I've gone to it where the club opens at like 3 or 4 a.m. and then people be partying till like 11 a.m., 12 the next fucking day. Anywho, Zell did something like that, but he did not tell his partner, who was Saucy, that he was going to go to the after hours. Instead, he ignored Saucy's phone calls and texts, did not post on the regular socials, and went and posted on Snapchat so he wouldn't see it. Saucy still went to do that. We know in real time that Zell Swag and Saucy Santana are not together, so I'm not going to waste much time commenting on it. What Zell did was whack, common shit that I hear about, and this is probably an example of what James just said too. It don't matter if you gay, straight, or whatever, okay? We are the same when it comes down to these parts, and that shit showed with the bullshit that Zell pulled. So that supported Joe point wholly and heavily. Saucy's upset about that. We're watching the demise of this relationship. It went down real fast, but I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. When they got in that altercation and I saw Saucy Santana run out the club, I knew that that relationship wouldn't last. I understand why Saucy Santana ran out the club. He had just been signed with, I believe, Atlantic. He has something to lose, and I think he's starting to understand that. But ain't no way in hell my nigga's gonna run up out the club with me and we fighting. We all fighting together. You better stick beside me. But I felt like that was gonna end it. They're just in two different places, I think, mentally and
to me,
professionally.
they're two different. They're in two different places in all aspects.
Ooh,
Even if we're talking about the same maturity level, they're in two different places. If we're talking about career-wise, they're in two different places. If we're talking about, you know, the essentials of beings, they're in two different places. And don't get me wrong, Saucy Santana definitely was at that place, but he is elevated. He realized having brand deals, having things that he could actually lose and could cost him. So I think that that's why realistically they were never going to work in the first place.
Yep.
And until Zell gets there to that point, not saying he doesn't have brand deals or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that you could tell by the company that Zell keeps that he has not elevated to that level.
He could get much more lucrative. Let's just put it this way. There's a difference between having a brand deal with Nike and having a brand deal with Fashion Nova. I said it. I'm sorry. There is a big difference between it. Nothing's wrong with it. I have a lot of clothes from Fashion Nova, Shein, and even Temu. So I don't judge it, y'all. I ain't rich. But in terms of like where they're at, that is the difference that he's speaking of with Saucy and Zell. They're just in two different spaces with their careers. And I think that that's absolutely true. I think that I know for a fact with psychology, a lot of counselors get couples in there. And when they're going to counseling, it's usually because of a difference in income, finances. People think everybody just getting cheated on. Most people are in therapy for things like that. And actually, one of the number one causes of relationships ending, unfortunately, are financial and economic differences, because it makes it harder in a relationship. I'm not going to go over why, because it would take hours, but it does make it harder. So I think what you're saying makes so much sense. That's why I love you, because you're smart. You ain't slow. He's like, I know, girl.
No, I'm not. I'm not laughing at that. I don't claim to be smart like this.
You are smart.
I just look at things for what they are, and I think that people need to start doing that. Putting a situation and calling a thing is a thing we need to practice as human beings, because we are taught not to think that something means something else, or something has an underlying meaning, or something has an expansive meaning. No. Look at what you're seeing and call it what it is. I'm calling Zell and Saucy Santana exactly for what I see. I'm looking at two men who fundamentally I don't think would ever be with each other based on where they are in life. Not because one's feminine and one's masculine, not because one is on Love and Hip Hop Miami, one was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Just collectively, they are in two different places in their lives. Not to say that in 10 years, they can't be together based on them meeting each other at the same place, because they can. But right now, in today's time, no, they cannot.
I just personally, I know I'm not a gay man, but if I was a gay man and I had a spouse that had been on TV and says still to this day maintains, I see myself ending up with a wife and kids because my dad was a real nigga. That's how it's supposed to be. I wouldn't feel comfortable with someone like that. That's just another example of the many differences between these two.
That's because, see, the problem is that it makes me wonder, like when men say that, it makes me wonder if you were touched on. It makes me wonder if you were touched on. Because to have that be the perception of your reality, when in all actuality, in today's time, you're sleeping with other men, it makes me wonder why you would even want to do this in the first place.
Yeah. That's how you're probably right. You're not too far off. You're not too shabby.
It's really weird that because I've known men who said that. I'm one of them. But my problem is, no, I was never touched on. But the problem is that I did get bored.
Yeah.
And it's not because I wasn't sexually attracted. That had nothing to do with it. I just wanted something different from my life that I felt like I was not going to get from that.
Yeah, I know a lot of heterosexual people like to think that a lot of men end up gay because they've been touched on and stuff. Where, and this is something that the community gets mad at, over 80% of the men who will admit that they've been touched on who are gay will say that that is a part of it. But if you stay with it, then that's probably something that you've
No,
always.
you could definitely evolve from that. I've
Yeah,
known men who have been touched on that evolve
I
from
do as
that.
well.
But
Yeah.
the problem is that when men say what he says, it
Mhm.
makes me wonder, because that is a toxic masculinity trait where you
It
know
is.
that somewhere down the line, this is not okay what you're doing, but
Mhm.
you're doing it
You're still sitting and
inside.
doing the shit,
Yeah,
knowing you're not going
yeah,
to want to end. You should just sit in your end goal instead of wasting someone else's time.
right.
But
Because you might find somebody that may fall in love with every part of you, but
yeah,
because you think you need to have what your father had, that is weird to me. Because
right.
then you're wasting someone else's life. I've been in that situation just recently.
Yeah, it's true. It is
Yeah.
very true. It is very, very true. I'm so sorry, you guys. I did not know my phone was on loud. So if you heard that loud ass iPhone ding, apologies. Moving it along. Now we come to some funny shit. We're almost done with this live. Like the video if you haven't already. I love all y'all Thug Life. Yandy and Mendices.
This is where I check out. So go ahead, Mrs. Vince.
Now, Yandy and Mendices have had this bullshit ass storyline where her cousin, who she keep calling her sister, this is not her fucking sister. They may be close like sisters, but this is not your sister. Okay? Yes, Naya, Thug Life girl. Say it back with your chest. I got it tattooed on my chest. That's my motto for life. And not to be a thug. It's actually an acronym that Tupac created in one of his very famous poems about love and hate and what we give to children. So look it up, y'all. I'm not a thug, that kind of thug, but I am a thug, if you know what I mean. An apology for the sirens. I live in Vallejo. It's ghetto. James is not denying it. He's laughing because it's true.
Well, it used to not be that way.
It did not.
It used to not be that way. But I tell you, that was probably because E40 used to live there. So and I think he lives in Danville. So
Yes.
overall, yes, Vallejo was like, you were trying to get as close to Napa Valley as you could back in those days.
Now it's the escape. It's the cheapest place in California outside of the valley, they say, and that all of Oakland and Richmond and the city, like Sunnydale, all of that is being shut down and gentrified. Everybody's moving this way, so it's making it awful. And then they only have, sometimes we have no police officers on duty in the city. It's like a thing. And I'd be waiting, like, if somebody ever tries to break in here, like I'm fighting we about to fight. I'm throwing this ring light at them. I'm beating their ass with the computer. They be breaking into houses and shit. I said, oh, I wish they come to my house. Y'all gonna find the right one because I'm crazy as hell.
It's like when you think of how hard people work for their stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is.
For you to walk up in somebody's house and just steal their shit.
Ooh.
Like, you don't understand the amount of anger that could do to a person's psyche when you really think that just because hell, I don't have that. I remember having a conversation with somebody in Florida, and I will never forget this. And he was talking about his cousin still. He saw somebody with a watch that he always wanted, so he felt like he could go and take it because why they showcasing it, why they want someone, they showing it because they want someone to take it. I said, no, they want it for the same reason you want it. You wanted to watch it, that they made the way to go and buy it. Now you need to make your way and go buy it. Like, that's so stupid to me.
I got some cousins I've told that who with the shit. And they be like, shit, my stupid ass gonna go get that watch. I'd be like, oh my God, some people you can't help.
No, they think it's cute, and they think it's like, they think they're gonna get a brownie point from whatever man is looking at them. And that's really what it comes down to, is that you trying to impress some other man.
Child.
But we're gonna have these conversations about homosexuality and homophobia. But you trying to impress a man by stealing a watch or stealing something from somebody else.
I never thought about that.
No, but that's why I said y'all not ready for these conversations. Y'all are not ready for this. I promise y'all, it's not as uncommon as y'all want to make it seem. But y'all not ready for these conversations, so I'm not going to do it. But that was just a sneak peek of the things I have to say.
Yeah, one little statement to scare hell of it, so I get why you say that. It was scary.
It will. Because then they'll be like, then aha moment's gonna come into their head like, oh shit, damn. And then I'm gonna have Bobos and everybody else after me because I got rid of the people that making it rich.
I can't stand you, Lord. Yandy and Mendices, and this joke of a remember, you guys, they're not legally married. They just like to say it. They common law without the paperwork. So Brat and Judy, Big Booty Judy is Brat's wife. They got married, had a kid. They have a really boring show on WeTV about their life, all these things. So they had to go through IVF to have kids. Judy actually has, I believe, 3 children prior to the Brat, because she's dated men, I guess, or whatever the hell she had going on. The Brat did not have children. They got married. They want to have a child together. So they went and they got a donor. Brat carried the child, and they had their little baby. So they understand the IVF process that Yandy is trying to go through. Yandy brings Mendices and them. They're painting pumpkins, which is a strange thing to do with no children around. And they talk about the issue of Yandy and her wanting to give her egg to her cousin Keisha, who she insists on calling as her sister, but that's her cousin. So, and talking about it, the Brat sides with Mendices and Amina, me, Mrs. Best, because I have been against this bullshit the whole time. And I'm just glad to see somebody else with some sense. And I'm not surprised that it's someone who's married, because though it's her body, when you get married, you still have your body, your right, your choice. But you've chosen to share your body, your rights, and your choices with another person. Doesn't mean that they're supposed to dictate and make a choice for you. It doesn't work that way. But you should consider them in the decisions that you make. Yandy is not considered Mendices at all in these decisions. It sounds like, first of all, I don't think this is real. I think this is a fake fucking storyline. But if it is real, there's no way in hell that I feel like that should be. If your husband agrees with it, do what you got to do, right? If you talk to your husband properly and he's like, okay, whatever, we're done having kids, that's fine. But if you talk to your husband and he's not okay with it, then you guys need to find somebody to talk to, a mediator or something, to come to an agreement, which is not happening. But you can't be married and just make the decision to put yourself into something. And I said this because I've done IVF years ago. I've said this. And Big Booty Judy went and also proved my point. She ended up in the hospital. I got sick from IVF. I don't talk about that a lot because it actually scared me and I probably need some therapy over it. It's a common thing for women to get sick. It's something you have to do every day. I would be at work in the middle of a conference call and have to get up, go to the work bathroom, get out of the refrigerator, that little needle, and put that shit in there. It's a lot. And your body, you're basically making your body ovulate when it's not ready to ovulate, basically. So you're putting your body through a lot. I don't think Yandy thought about that. The conversation with the Brat and Judy showed how little Yandy has thought about this, and also showed that she's probably bullshitting the storyline, because I don't know how you've been going to the doctor. We saw her in the doctor's office explaining IVF. So why is Yandy acting like a dingbat, acting like, oh, I didn't know I have to give myself injections every day. I thought it was just once every couple of weeks. Our periods happen once every couple of weeks, Yandy. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? So I think it's bullshit. Brat and Judy explained to her all types of scenarios. They even went as far to ask her, like, so what you gonna do? And this is something else I said. If the kid finds out later down the road that you are their biological mother and wants to call Yandy mom as well as Keisha mom, which is something that does happen. Yeah, Yandy. Well, nobody's thinking about that. People ain't worried about that type of stuff. Why wouldn't you think about the future of a child that, regardless if it's Yandy's child or not, or Yandy raises the child, Yandy's going to love the child because this is the child of her cousin. It's the child as a part of the family. Why wouldn't you think about how the decision to bring this child in the world is going to impact that child once they're in the world? It's just a little unrealistic.
So let me kind of expand on it, because I recently I went on like a Iyanla Fix My Life binge, and I had watched the episode with Kamaya Mobley, the young lady who was abducted at birth, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when I was watching that, one of the things that was prevalent about a part of her story was she still loves the woman that abducted her as her mother, and does not have the closest of her biological mother. So when that happened, I kind of put context, because, I watch our recaps too. I said, this kind of proves my point to where I don't necessarily think it would be that deep. And that's an example of that.
Oh,
mind you,
that's
this
a
is a woman.
terrible example because Kamaya Mowgli has so many psychological issues that impact
but the thing about it is
because of what that lady did, child.
exactly, but she still loves her directly as her mother.
Of course, you're gonna love the person who raises
But
you.
my thing is this.
But
yeah, but my thing is this. All she's doing is giving egg. She's not carrying the child.
Baby, it doesn't matter. The
It doesn't-
child,
it
because
does.
Kamaya, when she found out that the woman she thought was her mother wasn't her mother, and the closeness that they attempted to have, she talked about going through a crisis at one point, not knowing if she should turn to her mom or be there for her biological mom. She spoke about that. Now, obviously, Yandy's situation isn't the same,
Right.
but
Yeah.
my point is the child will have to go through some type of a struggle internally and mentally because of it. Doesn't mean they're going to end up on drugs or going through crazy
No, I
stuff.
don't think it's
Not
that,
even
but I just
because
think
of it.
that to
But
me,
to
I don't
risk
feel
it.
like that come out. I don't feel like that automatically is going to be the outcome, is what I'm saying. I feel like depending on that, because Yandy may be the godmother in the situation, and
That's
so
even
do we look?
worse.
Yeah, but do we look at that as wrong though? Because technically she is the mother, but the godmother, like you don't know how they're going to arrange the situation for that child for us to speak
Well, they
on
don't know either.
elements.
That's the thing that was proven.
Well,
They don't know either because
the problem is the
think about
semantics and some bullshit because legally they're not married. So him having an opinion is void to me.
But she wants to present herself as being married. So my thing is, Yandy, if you're gonna
It
pretend
doesn't
to
matter.
be married,
Yeah, but it doesn't matter to me because
you
I know
might
the real
be.
truth. But to me, all of us have common sense. Well, at least some of us should have common sense. We know she's not married. So to me, I'm looking at it as the logical part of it. You're not married to this man. So yeah, you could do what you want to do. Yes, it's nice to have his opinion. If he doesn't agree, that's on him. But you're not legally married to him. Now, if she was legally married to him, I would have your opinion. But if
I feel like either way, just because it is her cousin, she needs to, at the very least, any person who is involved or closely related to this maybe baby that is her name Keisha could have, needs to be fully aware of who's the biological parent. That to me, just for medical reasons and responsibility is necessary. Kind of like kids who are adopted, there's open and closed adoptions. Open means, the parent, the biological parent can come and be in the kid's life, know them. Closed means no contact, things like that. I feel like it's possible and it can be successful and is similar, but just explain to your kids, like, this is your cousin, but if something goes wrong in life, like, love your cousin like your sister because it's actually your sister or your brother too. Like, just
I don't think it's that deep. I think society's making it deep because of the biology element of it. I think we're making it that deep. I honestly do not feel like this has any like inconsequential element to it. I just think that we're digging too deep on it. I think we really are.
I think when it comes to bringing kids in the world, though, that we should absolutely always dig as deep as we can, and especially when
society doesn't do that. So that's the problem with
this lady to pay for all of it. If you can't pay for your sperm donor, which is about $800, if you can't pay for your doctor's appointments, if you can't pay for your insurance, if you can't find a way to be successful without Yandy having success and employing you for over a decade, if you cannot be self-sufficient, I understand you want a child, but honey, you better do like Sweet Tea on Married to Medicine and get the fucking surgery because they have the same issue. So get the surgery and try and do it.
I agree with you on that part. That I do agree with. I do agree with that. But to me, like I said, that's what happens when, but I just said, we are divided. And so this is what we have. This is what happens when someone who did make it comes back and instead of giving us the tools to help us get whatever we're good at and have us have our own success, we're just basically uploading them to success on our backs. That's what we're doing here. So that I agree with you. No, she needs to come up with her own resources and do things if she wants a child of her own. But what I'm just saying is I don't see the issue with this. I don't think it's that element of biology that really has to be this matter of the fact. I think that
it's
there's always a
I understand the biological part because you do want your kids to be biologically related to it, but I just don't like any of what Yandy and Keisha are doing. And I'm also a strong, like, this is something I'm extremely passionate on that annoys me because I have a lot of friends that have done this. Don't go fucking rushing to have a fucking kid, whether it be to keep a man or because you just so selfishly want one. If you are not in a place mentally, financially, spiritually, all of that shit to do it. Now, I know there's no right time to have it, but girl, if you can't even pay for your doctor's appointments, what the hell? And as for Yandy, I don't think any of us take her seriously as a wife.
No.
Her husband doesn't even take her serious. DeBrat was looking at them like a joke. I want Yandy to be the producer for this show that she truly probably is and leave. And if we don't get a reunion, then I need to see a post of Keisha pregnant as hell because you're not going to make us watch all of this bullshit and then not follow through. That's how I feel about it. But at this point, I may not want the girl pregnant, but you put us through all this shit and haven't had these conversations. I want to see the bitch spread wide and disseminated in. That's what I want. That's how I feel. But we'll see. I'm tired of Yandy. I can't believe we're
Yandy, let me tell you something. If this ain't what it is, by the time if there's a reunion, Mrs. Best is going to fuck off on you. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah, because it's like, really? You have people discussing something that's like serious, like bringing a child into a world is not a joke. And Love and Hip Hop will do some fuck shit with pregnancies, babies, and things like that. I'm just saying. So I'm
Rashida on the same show.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at Yandy like, can you stop bullshitting us? Because I never really liked Yandy on Love and Hip Hop. I never was a huge Yandy fan. I like her businesses. I respect her work ethic and her education and nothing else. So, it is what it is. Moving it along, I also think she's getting away with this shit because she probably, whenever anything happens and she can't get away, well, I held you down. I'm guaranteeing that's what's happening in that household. But I don't know.
And like I said, it wasn't the smartest choice, was it, Yandy, to hold someone down while they're in prison, dealing with baby mamas and shit, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You go to prison, all bets are off.
And that's why these women show.
Papers.
That's why these women show their, like, I think they show like, oh, I'm a boss, my businesses and this and that, because outside of their businesses, their education and the things that they do for work, stupid as hell. It's separate to eat from holding. I'm not holding nobody down that made a baby on me. And one of Yandy's kids is the same age of one of Mendici's kids, if y'all get my drift.
Mm-hmm. We know.
So, yeah. Moving it along. Spice and Carly, it's the last scene of the show. They meet up. Spice reads the letter that she wrote Carly, which I felt was passive aggressive, lacked accountability, and full of shit. Yes. Child, it was a mess, the letter. Carly does apologize to Spice, though, clearly on camera for us to see in a way that did seem more genuine. Like, I apologize because my intention wasn't to hurt you or make you feel like I was a snake. And Spice doesn't like that Carly told people that she was afraid of her. The way that Spice snapped on Carly is a way that we've not seen Spice snap. Now, Spice is always going off and hollering. That's true. But the way that she was attacking Carly, like trying to fight security and Rashida and everybody, that was like, I would be a little concerned too. Like, the bitch is crazy because it doesn't seem like too much happened between the two of them for them to be so upset. Anywho, moving on from that, Carly says that she does not like that Spice keeps saying that Carly Red only came to the Dominican Republic when Spice was sick to go to the club, which we know is bullshit. You guys were very close. And at that time, I remember when we found out about Spice and Carly was out there because I followed them. She wasn't even posting herself in the club or doing all that crazy stuff. That's not saying she didn't go, but it did look like she was by her side. And at least she went out there to find you, unlike no one else on the cast who you're dick riding now, Spice. They all said, oh, well, she's sick. We're going to wait for some news. Whereas Carly hopped on a plane with nowhere to stay and not knowing where to go to find your ass. So my thing is, no matter what people do, if you were there for me when I was really, really down, I'll fuck with you. I'll fuck with you. James could stop talking to me now because he's going through something. And when he's ready, I'll be there. Because when I was at my lowest in life, he was there for me. So I feel like it should be that simple with friends. And
what it is that, yeah, she's making it difficult because she wants a storyline on this show. I don't believe anything that Carly did was wrong at all. I feel like that was somebody who truly did care and love you and wanted to make sure you were fine, regardless of if it was only 2 seconds or 2 minutes. She wanted to make sure you were okay. And to me, that speaks more to me of realness than you being on the show and being mad at her for no reason. All of because of what Mita said or what Mita did.
Yeah, that's what I wrote in my notes. I'm not even going to go over every little thing, but essentially, when they got to talking, if you listen to what Spice was saying, she's mad at Carly based on what we call he said, she said. She can't confirm any of it, which really, to me, kind of like annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah,
Spice
me too.
She left a
I
comment on the Love and Hip Hop page that I'm going to read just from my phone. I'm not going to pull up Instagram right now because she's defending herself. And to me, the way that she keeps commenting just proves that she's lying or defensive about something. Sometimes silence is golden. But Spice says, and this is a quote, this is what she commented on the Love and Hip Hop Instagram page. This is my first time commenting on here all season. And yeah, I get that these are the part of the show that gains more tractions, but at least show the parts where it makes sense. Y'all acting like I never sat in this park talking to Carly for 2 hours, explaining to Carly all the things that she did to me. When is the letter going to be read? Well, here's the shortening of the letter since I need to be painted as the villain all the time. Number one, I don't need to say what I do when it's Carly's birthday, but Carly gave me a fake Celine bag for my birthday. Number two, her friend, Carly Red's friend, slept with my ex, and Carly knew all along and did not tell me. 3, she was plotting with my own friends behind my back, and they came back and told me. 4, they sent me video recordings of me in the hospital when visiting me by accident, and I stopped talking to not only Carly Red, but to all of the friends who were there. That's a lie, but we'll get into that. Carly just happens to be the only one on the show, so I take accountability for where I went wrong, but I was angry. However, I do not own Love and Hip Hop edits. I'm not going to that's why I stopped explaining what happened, because they start talking and doing the back and forth. And I was actually happy she commented because it gave some type of understanding. Essentially, I'm going to just break down what Spice commented on instead of the scene, because she basically literally commented on the scene. 1, this is not your first time commenting, Grace. This is not your first time commenting at all, Miss Grace. You comment on Love and Hip Hop constantly, and you commented damn near every episode that you and Carly were a part of last season. And the comments are there for people to see. 2, gaining more traction on the show. I don't think people are thinking of that. Why do you need to mention that Carly gave you a fake Celine bag? If the bag was real, would you be upset that she bought you a bag? At least you got a birthday gift. Just saying. As for Carly Red's friend sleeping with your ex, how is she responsible for what her friend did? That would be like if somebody I know goes and sleeps with James's ex, or if somebody James knows goes and sleeps with one of my exes. How does that put me and make me the bad guy? If Carly's friend slept with your ex, then be mad at Carly's friend, not Carly. And second, he's your ex. Why do you care if you're not with him anymore? Why is this relevant? Okay, she did this, so don't trust her around your new man. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't understand why they operate like that. And lastly, video recordings of you were sent in a hospital, Miss Spice. This is what she says. She was talking to Carly about it. She felt like Carly was letting the tabloids and stuff know of her medical issues. But Spice already explained that Mita was the one who let the press know of her medical issues. And to me, medical stuff is usually pretty private. So the fact that any of these people who allegedly leaked something were allowed in your hospital room sounds like you have too many people that you're calling a close friend. That's your error. And also, it sounds like your family was allowing too many people in the hospital, personally. I know celebrities like, let's say, Kim Kardashian, or hell, even Shay Johnson, I Love and Hip Hop Miami, had to go to the hospital for her DNC procedure after she had her miscarriage. And we really didn't know that she was pregnant or having a miscarriage at all, because these shows have been filmed until we see it. So if stuff is meant to be kept private and your camp around you is trustworthy, I don't feel like any of this would have gotten out. I feel like Spice is upset at Carly Red for things, 1, Carly did not fully do. And then 2, I feel like Carly's taking the blame for a lot of stuff that Spice needs to be upset at her team, her camp, and her family about, personally. Because if I go to the hospital right now and some shit like Spice was, and let's say I'm famous or my channel makes it or something, we're going to speak it into existence, y'all. You know what I'm saying? My husband, Josiah, is not going to tell just anybody or call just anybody. He'll probably tell James, my dad, and probably my grandmother, one other person, and a sibling. That's it. And if people want to come visit me, he'll probably let James through and those same people and nobody else, because those are the people in our life who we know won't go spreading stuff and can hold water.
Right. And to me, when she explained that, because I did read that too, when she explained it, I was like, well, here's the thing. Carly didn't video record you and put you on social media.
Thank you.
So it's like, once again, what are you mad at?
And that's why she's doing these paragraphs, because
and not one of those paragraphs explained a valid reason to be mad at her.
It just explains
no, it explains the valid reason why you should be mad at everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about Carly. She's the one that met you in the park. So you get mad because she bought you a fake bag. At least she got you a gift with your overgrown ass.
Right.
Like, come on. We're not going to act like that was really that big of a deal.
Right. I think that's shady to try and say, oh, you bought me. You're trying to throw shade at her. So you're obviously still bad and do not care about mending it. What I will say is Spice in this scene got everything that she asked for from Carly, she received. And I was done with Spice when Carly was like, she's like, why can't you just say hi? And Carly's like, I love you. I've been saying this. And then Spice walks away. No. Oh my God. She just does not get it. And Carly's like, I'm telling you what you want to hear and have keep coming to you. I have not attacked you. Carly's actually behaved. Usually Carly reads messy on her history of love and hip hop, but this is the one time that I do not believe Spice fully. I really don't. I feel
no, I don't believe Spice
like Carly's
at all. I feel like
person to blame because she's famous for being messy, and everyone in Spice's camp knew that. Carly's an original member of this show, so I feel like she's easy to be the scapegoat, and Spice is just falling for it, personally.
No, I don't think she's falling for it. I think she's behind her knowing that she's the scapegoat. I think that it's very much, it's given Terry from Soul Food. It's like, you know who the scapegoat is, so you're going to go ahead and use the scapegoat to get out of the situations that you're in.
You black as hell for that fucking, you know.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's what it reminded me of. It was like, okay, why are you trying to Terry your way through the situation? Like, instead of you just being accountable for whatever.
Thank you. Spice is going to do and has done everything she can to avoid being accountable for anything. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to let the whole community know. I don't care if you're Jamaican, Haitian, from Africa, or motherfucking Tahiti. I don't give a fuck what you do in your culture. Don't tell me you going to bust me in my head if you don't want problems. That's how I feel. So when Spice said that, I was looking at her like, girl.
Yeah, justice for Terry, because she really was not the villain of that movie. I'm just making a point that she was not the villain of that movie. I was just making a point that in the Faith situation with Miles, she did use Faith as a scapegoat because she really didn't want to be with Miles.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Because she was tired of his ass writing them checks. She
exactly.
had to pay for it.
Listen. She was like literally yes, exactly. So that's why I use her because she did use Faith as a scapegoat. She really did.
I just had an idea. We should. Oh my gosh, because y'all know I'm a little bit black in certain situations. I love me a good black film. I need to find time to have James like recap a film with me, like Soul Food, that is just hella black. Do Soul Food.
Oh, we should totally do that. Like I should totally. If I could figure out a way to put, but the problem is we can't do it live, so we can't get.
No, we don't have to do it live. You can still send the invite pre-record. I know how to edit. I've been editing, friend.
Oh, fine then.
I've been learning. It's easy through StreamYard. I'm gonna show you one day. But that's pretty much our recap, y'all. Me and James, listen, we disagree on the Yandale situation from time to time, but when it comes to Spice and her bullshit, we always agree. So I appreciate everybody for being here for the hour, 18 minutes, and 45 milliseconds that we were here. I apologize it took so long. Child, but we are going to, she said, the conversations that would create.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll go live after, like maybe we'll do is we'll watch Soul Food together. and then we'll go live like maybe a week, give you guys time to watch our reactions to it and our diagnosis of everybody, and do it like this.
Child, I love that movie though. One of my favorites. But that's it for this recap. If you have opinions, be sure to comment them, even if they're different from mine. We appreciate everybody who watches live. Replay gang, Thug Life, thank you. I love y'all. We are going to be getting into Housewives of Beverly Hills. I've actually been excited and trying to shift through these lives, but they gave us fuck shit. So we will be going live now to do Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the reunion part 3. I love everybody. Subscribe to James's channel. Links in the description. Peace. Adios.